Hello everybody, welcome to Crafty Soup. My name is Misty and this is the next part of my craft room makeover. So if you haven't seen the previous parts, I will link you up to those, but this is just going to move us forward. I did go ahead and get this shelf from IKEA and put it in there in that L shape I mentioned. I'm kind of glad because it doesn't stick out quite as far as I thought it would. And another benefit to this shelf is that it leaves a little more room next to the door. So when I come in and reach for the light switch, I'm not whacking my knuckles into the other shelf that I had there. And I thought that shelf would be temporary, and it turns out definitely didn't like it there. So this shelf is doing much better. Of course, I have started moving some supplies onto it, but this is super temporary, except for my die cutting machine. I'm happy with the placement of that. Everything's working well there. There's a lot of empty space down there. So far I have my story binders here and I like the idea of having them right next to me, so I'm thinking those will work. Everything else is just kind of up for grabs. I found these kind of funky paperboard containers at IKEA and they were only a couple of bucks. I think I might either move all of my alphabets into those, since the alphabets are pretty sturdy and pretty standardized packaging. The other thought I had for these was to put my stickers in there, like cardstock stickers or chipboard stickers, those kinds of things, which are currently on the shelf kind of behind me. So I'm not sure yet. And I'm really not sure how long those will hold up, but I like the idea of it being paperboard, so we shall see. I did get the big shelf here and assembled. It was out of stock at IKEA, and the very next day it came back in stock. Luckily, IKEA is only about 20 minutes away from me, so I have been able to easily go back and forth and get the things that I need. I have a wooden shelf here, which is going to hold the printer, although I think I'm going to lower it and add another shelf up higher. My Cricut is going to live there, but again, I might move it up depending on how the spacing of everything fits in here. And I might take that shelf out and put boxes on the floor, since the very under space is unusable and this seems kind of ridiculous to have a whole floor that I could put stuff on and not be able to use it. So this shelf might end up being the extra shelf that comes in here when I rearrange all that. Not too much change over here. We do have the couch. I did get another pillow. This one's soft and fuzzy and I really like it. I think the shelf was there before. I'm not sure. Maybe it was still in a box, but it's built and ready. And then I've got these bins from IKEA, and I didn't have enough of them, so I bought a couple more of those. So now they are color-coded by shelf, and these are in order of color, kind of like my logo. Right now, they're just kind of mixed up with my basic embellishments, but I think I'm going to move a lot more embellishments into there, so we'll see how that works out. And then I have not installed the pegboard yet. That is my rolls of hot foil. I have been bringing things upstairs from the basement as I've cleared out stuff here. I've got my light for photographing my projects. I haven't ever had a successful photography station for my projects, so I'm not sure if that'll work out. We'll see. But what I'm really excited about is my color shelves. So I got these shelves installed just moments ago into studs in the wall, and I'm very happy with how my ink pads fit on here, although notice that there's not quite enough room for one more. So if my collection of Concord and Ninth ink grows, it's going to be an awkward one sitting on the edge, I guess. I don't know what I'll do at that point. But there is just a little bit of space right at the tippy top for extra ink pads, so maybe the extras will go up there. Currently I have white and metallics up there. And then all of my distress inks and all of the ink colors I started collecting before I discovered Concord and Ninth and found it to be my favorite. And then I have a new set of bins back here that are holding all of my brushes. They're still a little wobbly, but I have an idea that I'm hoping is rather clever. I haven't tried it, so I'm not going to say what it is yet, because it might not be clever after all. But that is my color station, and I'm really excited about how that came together. I did get my camera stabilized enough to film. It's not perfect, and I suspect I will move it around eventually after I get my monitor moved in, which I suppose is the next big project. So that is the update for this time. Next update might have me most of the way done, besides some basic organizing. So we'll see how that goes. And I did decide to leave my cutesy little carpet by the door. I had it under my chair for a while, but the chair was kind of chewing it up. So there it shall live. All right, that is it. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.